Alright, it's time for the video for the Mastery Quiz number 2 review. Your first question here is just solving a exponential equation. It looks like this. In order to solve this, you need to get both sides to have the same base. The left side has a base 3, and right now the right side has a base of 27, or 1 over 27. 27 can be written as base 3. If you have 1 over 27, that's the same thing as 1 over 3 to the third power. And so the left side I'm going to keep as 3 to the negative 3n, and then the right side I'm going to write as 3 to the negative third, because this is equal to 3 to the negative third. And now that I have this, I have bases the same. You can drop the bases and set the exponentials equal to each other. So negative 3n is going to equal negative 3, divided by the negative 3, and you are done, and you get n equals 1. Moving on to the next one. Here, both of these numbers can be written as a base 3, and so I'm going to do that for both of them. The left one here, 243, written as base 3, is 3 to the 5th power. So that has a new base of 3. And the right side, 1/9 can be written as 3 to the negative 2nd power. That's how you get the fraction, is with a negative power. It's going to be 3n. And now I can, now I have some exponential to another exponential. To simplify that out, you take these and you multiply them. So it's the same as 3 to the 5th times negative 2n minus 3. And on the right side, we're going to have 3 to the negative 2 times 3n. And when you do that, you'll get 3 to the negative 10n minus 15 power equals 3 to the negative 6n power. Now we have common bases and only one exponential part. We can take these and set them equal to each other. Drop the bases to get negative 10n minus 15. And on the right side, we'll have negative 6n. Now I'm just going to get my n's on one side, so I'm going to add 10n to both sides to get negative 15 equals 4n, and divide both sides by 4. You'll get n equals negative 15 over 4. And that one's good to go. Moving on to 3, these both can be written as base 4. The left one's already written as base 4, but 16 is the same thing as 4 squared. So I got 4 to the negative 3x equals 4 squared. Since we have common bases, we can drop them. You get negative 3x equals 2. Divide both sides by negative 3. And you'll get x equals negative 2/3. And that one's good to go. Moving on to 4. These two can be written as base 2. This one's already in base 2. I just need to take 64 and write that as a base 2. Well, 64 is the same thing as 2 to the, it can be written as 2 to the 6th power. And so if you have 1/64, you can change that power to be negative. So inside my parentheses here, I can have 2 to the negative 6. And then that's to the negative 3b power. On the right side, I still got 2 to the 5th. When you have an exponent to an exponent, you need to multiply them. So I got 2 to the 18b power equals 2 to the 5th. So now I have common bases with only one exponent. We can drop the bases, set the exponents equal to each other. You get 18b equals 5, and divide both sides by 18 to get b equals 5 over 18. Moving on to 5, both of these here can be written as a base of 5. 25 is the same thing as 5 squared, and 125 is the same thing as 5 to the 3rd power. And when you keep that exponent that was on it, which was 3x, and since I have an exponent to an exponent, I'm going to multiply those to get 5 to the 9x equals 5 squared. Now I have common bases. I can drop those and just set my exponents equal to each other to get 9x equals 2, and divide both sides by 9, and I will be all done. X equals 2 over 9. And moving on to 6, I already have common bases, so I can just take my exponents and set them equal to each other. Negative 3v minus 3 equals 5. I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get negative 3v equals 8, and divide by both sides by that negative 3, and you'll get v equals negative 8 over 3. And we're good to go. There's my whole answer. Moving on to the next section, these ones you need to graph the exponentials, so have your x values, your y values, and make yourself a little table. I'm going to do like negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. Just give me enough points to deal with. If on this one, if you're going to do 4 times 2 to the negative second power, 2 to the negative second power is 1/4, so 4 of that. 4 times 1/4 is just 1. And then we got 4 times 2 to the negative first. Well, the negative first turns it into the fraction 1/2. 4 times 1/2 is just 2. 4 times 2 to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1, except maybe 0. And you'll have 4 times 1, which is just 4. And then we got 4 times 2 to the first. That's 4 times 2, which is 8. And we got 4 times 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4, so that's 4 times 4, which is 16. So I have my points here. The point negative 2, 1. So I go negative 2, 1, and put a point. I have the point negative 1, 2. So negative 1, 2 gives me a point here. Gosh, stop it. There. A point there. And I got the point 0, 4. So I'm going to go to 0, 4, put a point down. And I got the point 1, 8. So I'm going to go on 8, and gives me another point there, and then I got 216. 216 is here-ish. We're just going to connect this up now, and we have this exponentially growing graph here. That level's out there on the left side. Moving on to 8, again, you need to pick some x's and some y's, and you need to graph this exponential by picking some x's. I'm going to do not so many this time. I'm going to do like negative 2, 0, and I'll do 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, it's gonna look like that. Okay, so it's the same amount, just slightly different numbers. I'm gonna do 5 times 2 to the negative second power. Well, 2 to the negative second power is 1/4. You have to do 5 times that, which is 5/4. And then the next part, we're gonna get 5 times 2 to the 0 power. 2 to the 0 power is just 1, so 5 times 1 gives me 5. 5 times 2 to the first. 2 to the first is 2, so 5 times 2 gives me 10. 5 times 2 to the second. 2 to the second is 4, so 5 times 2 to the second is going to be 20. And then 5 times 2 to the third. 2 to the third is 8. 5 times 8 is going to give me 40, which is really big, and I can't fit that on my graph. So I'm going to just graph these first 4 here. I get negative 2 5/4, which is unloaded above 1, because it's 1 1/4. And I got the point 0, 5, so I'm going to go 0, 5, and there's my point. I got the point 110, and the point 220. So things are going really fast on this one. Looks like that. And going left will look like that. Alright, so there's my other exponential. Let's move on to 9. Get some x's, some y's, and then you can graph your lovely line. I'm going to do negative 2, 0, 1, 2. We'll do 3 while we're at it. If you want to do 4 times 2 to the negative second power, 2 to the negative second is the same thing as 1 oh, just kidding, it's not 2 to the negative second, it's 1/2 to the negative second. 1/2 to the negative second power is going to be the same thing as 2 to the second power. So 1/2 to the negative second power is 4, so this gives you 4 times 4, which is 16. Now you need to do 4 times 1/2 to the 0 power. Anything 0 power is 1, so 4 times 1 gives me 4. And then we get 4 times 1/2 to the first power. 1/2 to the first is 1/2, so 4 times that is going to give me 2. And I got 4 times 1/2 to the second power. 1/2 to the second power is 1/4, so 1/4 times 4 gives me 1. And last one, 4 times 1/2 to the third power. 1/2 to the third power is 1/8. 4 times that is going to give me 1/2. So now I have my points here. Negative 2, 16. 0, 4. It's right there. 1, 2, 2, 1, and the 0.3, 1/2. So when I graph this guy, it's going to grow like so, and come there on my horizontal part, and that's going to be our first video.